Sometimes I think to myself, this can't be everything. Like there's something important hiding in plain sight, mixed with this strange kind of longing, an ache that no amount of money, success, or experience can quench. And I suspect you know exactly what I mean. Like the absurdity of everything must have a point. Maybe you felt it staring at the stars, maybe in a moment of grief or a moment of beauty, or maybe it arrived for no reason at all. The hope for some obscure sacred truth. That feeling where you think, there must be something beneath all of this. This feeling that turns out isn't unique, and it might be one of the oldest human experiences that there is. It didn't begin with modern life, or religion, or philosophy. It's been with us since the dawn of man, long before cities, science, or the written language were a thing. Our ancestors were burying their dead with ceremony for the afterlife. Looking up at the stars with the same bewilderment, telling stories of what they thought lay beyond life. Humans didn't just survive, we searched, and we kept returning to the same old questions. Why are we here? Does anything we do actually matter? What happens when we die? But the questions themselves have to be a symptom of something deeper, a search for something more intrinsic. Perhaps it's a desire that no experience in this world could satisfy. Because we all have this feeling that deep within us lives a quiet panic of a missing layer, an ache for something that without, we are somehow incomplete. It's something undefinable, yet we still reach for it. It waits quietly beneath everything. It's there in the 3 AM silence, when beauty catches you off guard, or when grief feels too much to carry. We're never going to outrun it, and maybe we're never supposed to. Why does a species that evolved to survive spend so much time wondering why it exists? Why do we search for meaning, for purpose, for truth, for something beyond ourselves? Maybe there's nothing behind it. Maybe the reaching was always the point. Maybe we evolved to forever spiral upwards in awe and wonder, not through anything mystical, but because it's written into human evolution, our DNA, that the feeling itself is an illusion, a trait that flourished and became the norm because it helped us as a species survive, and nothing more. And perhaps that should be enough to kill the question, but it never is. Because for a species standing in the middle of so much mystery, certainty feels like an insult to the vastness of it all. Because if it was so obvious, why are we still here, still asking? Same as the first humans who ever looked up and felt it, no closer to an answer, and somehow unable to stop. And then we built something new, not a temple, not a religion, and not a philosophy, a method. We built science, and for a moment, it felt like we might finally be getting somewhere. We split the atom, we mapped the genome, we sent machines beyond the edges of our solar system, and with every answer came a quiet confidence that maybe this was it. Maybe this was the tool that would finally close the gap and pull back the curtain. And while it did pull back the curtain, it did not find clarity, because what science found wasn't a tidy set of answers at the bottom of everything. It found complexity that made the picture even more mysterious. What it found is that the fundamental fabric of the universe, the laws that even allow for what we call reality, have been fractionally different. Not even atoms would have formed. No stars, no planets, and no life. The difference between existence and nothing balances on a razor edge. Change any one of these laws by almost nothing, and there is no anything. And yet here we are, sitting inside what appears to be an almost impossibly precise set of circumstances, as though the universe was tuned to allow this moment to exist. This isn't proof of divinity, but I'd be damned if it isn't compelling, because this doesn't just speak to the fragility of life, it speaks to the fragility of everything, and what can only be described as a miracle, that any of this even exists at all. The deeper science goes, the deeper the mystery goes. At the granular level, things begin to behave in a way that defy logic. Particles seem capable of existing in multiple states at once. The act of observing particles in an experiment appears to change the outcome, as if there is some unique property to measurement or consciousness. When we zoom in to find clarity, reality doesn't become clearer, but ever growing in complexity and even more shrouded in mystery. Infinite universes happening simultaneously. Time itself, not a fixed clock, but something that stretches and bends depending on where you are in the universe. Everything you have ever known or seen originating from a single point smaller than the head of a pin. And despite every advancement in neuroscience, nobody can explain what it is an experience of being alive. Deeper we dig, science starts to offer explanations that seem just as preposterous as anything spirituality or religion has ever proposed. Science didn't close the gap, it deepened it. But the sheer scale of the mysteries surrounding us should make certainty in anyone very hard to justify. When you sit with the scale of all of it, you can understand why people reach for answers like God, or some kind of mystical force behind everything. Because in the face of all of it, it starts to look like a sensible answer. It's too much for a single human mind to hold. We're alive, and I have no idea why. We have the capacity to never question any of it, to get lost in the ordinary and never look up. But we also have the capacity to zoom out, and in doing so, find an infinite horizon of unanswerable questions. There might be no option but to accept that we may never know if there is a point to any of this, at least not for certain. But one thing is for sure, nobody truly knows what's out there, and yet we're so quick to judge each other on how we respond to that fact. Whether you're atheist, agnostic, or religious, all of it is a sensible response to the lunacy of it all. You can find reason to land in any camp. We've been spawned into this madness and have to find our way, as has everyone who ever existed. It's no wonder we have always looked up to the stars and reached for something. The human in me would think it was crazy if we didn't. In the face of such uncertainty, no one is able to answer these questions for you but yourself. It's all we have ever been able to do. Because I know for at least me, this can't be everything.